Good afternoon. This is the first time that I am preaching to the whole parish. I've been doing daily mass, so I'd like to thank all of you for welcoming me and being patient. I have a little trouble with technology, as you'll see when I go to the altar. That pad is terrible. Father Bob can do it because he's smart. I'm not. But thank you very much for welcoming me. I'm very happy here. I'm very glad that I belong to a religion where not only words are important, but actions are important. If we listen to the Gospels, Jesus said a lot of things. For 3 years, he was teaching the 12 people around him and teaching everybody. He obviously communicated them with words, but he backed that up by his actions. As he walked along and he saw a baby boy dying or dead, and he said, "I'm going to raise that child from the dead." And he did. When they had 3 loaves and 2 fish, how are we going to feed 5,000 people? I'm just not going to say I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. And he did it. He said to us, "I love you so much that I'm going to do that. I'm going to be crucified." And he was. "But then 3 days later, I'm going to rise and I'm going to be alive so you can see me and hear me and feel me." And he did. He was a God who spoke and acted. And he wants us to do the same thing. Today's gospel is all about love. What is love? Love is selflessness of person. You have to be a giver to love somebody. You can't be selfish. If you're selfish, you can't love. That's why Jesus said, "Love one another. Be unselfish." And I learned that firsthand many years ago when I was taking my niece and nephew to church. They were 5, 3, and 2. I will never, ever do that again. I have great respect for parents who bring their kids to church because they don't listen ever. Kids don't listen. That's the way they are. They're kids. Well, I did this because my brother-in-law and my sister were out at a party down the shore. So I said, "Don't worry about getting up. I'll bring them to church." Never again. We go to church, and Caitlin is in my arm, the girl, and I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. No, 2-year-old's in my arm. The girl's the 2-year-old. We finally sneak into the back of church early, so I didn't want to upset anybody. And right away, the girl in my arm grabs the hair of the older lady in the front of me. Thank God it wasn't a wig. Thank God it wasn't, because if it were, I slit my throat. The other one is ripping up the missalette, and they're talking all over the place. So I said, "This is impossible." So I decided, don't tell the bishop. I decided to leave early, which I hate doing, but I had to get out, or they would have killed somebody. So I get in the car and I drive back to the condo. And in the course of going back to the condo, I get in the line of a train. Maybe I'm 10 cars back. Unbeknownst to me, a woman in a convertible with 2 kids in the back seat tied into those seats decides that she's going to try to beat the train. I could hear the train. Bad decision. And I don't know how a woman would do that with anybody in the car, but with 2 kids in the car. She goes up, the thing comes back behind her, and she's in a hole. There's a hole before the tracks. She can't, the wheels are spinning. She can't get out. The man in the first car behind her sees what's happening, jumps out of the car, and runs up and literally throws her out of the front seat. Just takes her and throws her out of the front seat, and then takes the two kids. How he got them out, I have no idea, because they were, with seatbelts. Takes them and pulls them and throws them. There was a lawn back here. Throws them on the lawn. They got scraped up, and so did she. And then he fell on the ground. The train hit the front of the car. It was like that. Believe me, it just happened like that. And the train dragged the car down the tracks. This man, in effect, listened to the gospel today, and not only heard the gospel, but lived it. I said to him, when all the stuff that had started to happen, we had police cars and all sorts of stuff going on. I said to him, why did you do that? Why would you do that? He said, I'm a Christian. He said, it's in my DNA. I reacted because that's what God wants me to do. And I said, you're a hero. I don't know too many people who would do that. And I never saw them again. But he's right. Isn't that what God wants us to do? To listen to what he says, but then to do something. It doesn't have to be that. He almost gave his life for 3 people he didn't even know. But if we're going to have Jesus' DNA, if we're going to be Christians and followers and all of that, and you come to church every Sunday, you listen to the words. If we're not going to live what we hear, don't come. Why come? Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. But daily life experience gives us so many experiences that we could do something like that. And I asked myself this question, and now I'm asking you the question. If you were in that second car and you saw a train coming and kids and a mother in that car, would you save them or not?